Here we see the Hollywood Temple. Filmed in 1930, we see Swami Prabhavananda with Sister Lalita, Mrs. Carrie Mead Wyckoff, and Swami Vivedishananda. Sister Lalita, together with her sisters, Mrs. Alice Mead Hansbrough and Helen Mead, met Swami Vivekananda on his trip to California in late December of 1899. She later became a disciple of Swami Turiyananda and an admirer of Swami Prabhavananda when he was in Portland. In 1929, she gave him her property in Hollywood to establish a Vedanta society there. This is the pond garden area where the temple was built in 1937 and dedicated in 1938. Swami Vivedishananda, who was head of the Vedanta Society of Northern California in San Francisco from 1931 till 1932, in 1938, Swami Vivedishananda started the Vedanta Society of Western Washington in Seattle. He remained there until his death in 1980. From left to right, we see Shraddha, Dorothy Lewis, Sister Lalita, Swami Prabhavananda, and Swami Vivedishananda. This is the Santa Barbara main house before the dining room addition. This property was given to the Society by Spencer Kellogg in 1943. Swami Prabhavananda served as assistant to Swami Prakashananda at the Vedanta Society of Northern California in San Francisco from 1923 to 1925. In 1929, when Sister Lalita convinced him to go to Hollywood, he started the Vedanta Society of Southern California, which he headed until his death in 1976. We see the back of the head of Pravajika Saradaprana as a brahmacharini, Shraddha Lewis, Maria de Guarda with dark hair, and Pravajika Bharadaprana as a brahmacharini. Moitre, Pravrajika Prabhaprana as a brahmacharini, and an unknown woman. Gerald Hurd with the beard gave the Trabuco Monastery to the Society in 1949. Next to him is Henry Dennison and Michael Barry, Gerald Hurd's secretary and companion. Swami Prabhavananda at the Trabuco Monastery with Henry Dennison and others. The Malvina Hoffman sculpture of Swami Vivekananda is seen through the door. The Trabuco Monastery was originally developed by Gerald Hurd, the well-known writer and lecturer, as a religious college for the study of mysticism. In 1949, he persuaded the board members to deed the property to the Vedanta Society. These are the monastery buildings. Here is Bob Lewis, who took most of this film with Swami Prabhavananda. Swami Yogeshananda and Swami Anamananda as brahmacharis are on the left. Swami Yogeshananda wrote The Visions of Ramakrishna and 6 Lighted Windows, memories of 6 of the early Swamis who worked in the West. In 1992, he re-established Swami Bhashyananda's subcenter in Atlanta. Left is Michael Barry, Hans in the plaid shirt, Henry Dennison, Ananta, and Swami Krishnananda as a brahmachari on the far right. We see Swami Prabhavananda leading a procession of visiting swamis from around the country. Swami Vivedishananda from Seattle, Swami Pavitrananda from the New York West Side Center, Swami Aseshananda, assistant in Southern California, Swami Shraddhananda while assistant in San Francisco, Swami Ritajananda, assistant in Southern California, Swami Vandanananda, assistant in Southern California. In 1959 or 1960, at the Vivekananda House in South Pasadena, familiarly called Swamiji House, we see Swamis Akhilananda and Prabhavananda. Behind them are Don Montague, called Virabhadra, and Swami Vandananda. Swami Krishnananda follows. Virabhadra bought the house and then gave it to the society in 1956. Here we see the front of the Vivekananda House where Swamiji stayed on his visit to California in 1900. Swami Gnaneswarananda was assistant at the New York West Side Center from 1927 until 1929, at which time he started the Chicago Center. Chicago, my city of dreams, he called it, since it was there that Swami Vivekananda received his great triumph at the Parliament of Religions in 1893. He wrote the first English biography of Ramakrishna to appear in the U.S., a small masterpiece titled Ramakrishna, the Man and the Power. He also wrote Yoga for Beginners, Divine Communion, and Hinduism Comes to America. Unfortunately, none of the books are still in print. Swami Gnaneswarananda died in Chicago in 1937. We see Swami Gnaneswarananda sitting on the floor during a visit to India, probably in 1936. Sitting on the right is Swami Akandananda, who was a direct disciple of Sri Ramakrishna and the third president of the Ramakrishna Order from 1934 to 1937. He was a pioneer in educational and relief work, for which the Ramakrishna mission is now well known. On the same trip, he visited Swami Yatiswarananda in Europe. We see him here on the left and Swami Yatiswarananda on the right. Swami Yatiswarananda was then at St. Moritz in Geneva, Switzerland. He also worked in The Hague, Amsterdam, Paris, London, Germany, and Stockholm. His central ashram for Europe was at Engadine, Switzerland, from where he made occasional visits to Germany and traveled once a year to Italy. He headed a center in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania from 1942 to 1949, when he returned to India. There, he built up and modernized the Bangalore Ashram, one of the largest Ramakrishna Order centers. He also served for several years as the initiating vice president of all South India. He wrote a number of books, two of which are Universal Prayers and a comprehensive manual on spiritual life titled Meditation and Spiritual Life. On a trip to India, we see on the right Swami Bhashyananda, who succeeded Swami Gnaneswarananda in Chicago. With him is the widely traveled world lecturer Swami Ranganathananda, who visited the U.S. many times. He became president of the Ramakrishna Order in 1998. Swami Bhashyananda traveled widely in the West, organizing groups and subcenters in Houston, Atlanta, Florida, and Toronto. He had the support of Chester Carlson, the inventor of the Xerox copy machine. In 1967, he bought Holy Mother's Cottage for women devotees who wished to live a spiritual life, and in 1970, he bought a building next to the center to house a library of more than 7,500 volumes. In 1968, 80 acres in Ganges, Michigan were purchased for a monastery and retreat. Swami Budhananda, to whom Swami Bhashyananda gives his seat, served as assistant at the New York East Side Center from 1959 to 1964, and then as assistant in Hollywood in 1966. He was a writer of small and very inspiring books such as Mind and Its Control and Joy of the Illumined.
Om Agna Vishnu Sajoshase Ma Vardhantu Vangiraha Yumnairvaje Bhiragatam Vajascha me prasavascha me pragatishcha me prasitischa me dhitischa me kratuscha me swarascha me shlokascha me shravascha me shrutischa me jyotischa me suvascha me pranascha me panascha me vyanascha me suscha me jittancha ma adhitancha me vakcha me manascha me chakshuscha me श्रोत्रञ्च मे दक्षश्च मे बलञ्च म ओजश्च मे सहश्च म आयुश्च मे जरा च म आत्मा च मे तनुश्च मे शर्म च मे वर्म च मेऽङ्गानि च मे स्थानि च मे परोगुंसि च मे शरीराणि च मे ज्यैष्ठ्यञ्च म आधिपत्यञ्च मे मन्युश्च मे भामश्च मे मश्च मेऽम्भश्च मे जेमा च मे महिमा च मे वरिमा च मे प्रथिमा च मे वर्ष्मा च मे द्राघुजा च मे वृद्धम् च मे वृद्धिश्च मे सत्यम् च मे श्रद्धा च मे जगच्च मे धनम् च मे वशश्च मे त्विषिश्च मे क्रीडा च मे मोदश्च मे जातम् च मे जनिष्यमाणम् च मे सूक्तम् च मे सुकृतम् च मे वित्तम् च मे वेद्यम् च मे भूतम् च मे भविष्यच्च मे सुगम् च मे सुपथम् च मरुद्धम् च मरुद्धिश्च मे क्लिप्तम् च मे क्लिप्तिश्च मे मतिश्च मे सुमतिश्च मे क्षञ्च मे मयश्च मे प्रियम् च मे नुकामश्च मे कामश्च मे सौमनसश्च मे भद्रम् च मे श्रेयश्च मे